What's up and welcome back to my channel. And on today's video, it's going to be about time management. And if this is an area where you feel you kind of suck, you could use a little help, then you're definitely going to want to stick around, as I'm going to be sharing and actually showing you exactly how I plan my week. Now, I personally use the Passion Planner, so that's what I'm going to be showing you. Plus, I've got a super fun giveaway that you aren't going to want to miss. Now, if you are totally new to me and my channel, what's up? My name is Sherri Brown, and I am a hashtag recovering spammer who did it wrong for many, many years. And it's now my passion to really help those busy work-at-home moms to rediscover their voice, build a solid foundation for their business, and show their kids what's possible. And on this channel, I do everything from product reviews and tutorials, as well as actual social media and marketing strategies you can implement to go further faster when building your business online. So again, if you're totally new here and this kind of seems like it's your jam, then consider subscribing. Just make sure that you hit the bell so you get notified as I upload new videos each and every week. So before I actually change the camera view and, give you a bird's eye view and show you exactly how I plan and map out each and every week, I want to share with you a super fun giveaway. Now, I have yet to actually do a giveaway on YouTube, so super excited about it. And I am going to be giving away not only a Passion Planner, which is one of my absolutely favorite planners that I have been using. I'm also going to be giving away a Start Today journal. Now, if you are a Rachel Hollis fan, you know what this is, but what it is it's just a 90-day journal where every day you can basically write down 5 things you're grateful for and 10 dreams that you made happen. And so the cover is going to be different because as she produces more of these, she never produces the same cover twice. So these are the 2 things that I am actually giving away. Now, I'm going to be drawing a winner Sunday, April 21st, okay? And I will announce the winner in the comments of this particular video, and I will pin it to the very top. Now, there's only 3 things that you have to do to actually get entered, which I'll also outline everything that I talk about in today's video. Just be sure to check the description because it will all be below as well. But step number 1, if you have not already, subscribe to my channel. Step number 2 is download my free workbook called the Work at Home Mom Survival Guide. And inside of this workbook, I basically broke it up into 3 phases. So if you struggle when it comes to time management or just feel like you're kind of all over the place when it comes to your business, when it comes to your life, I've kind of broken this workbook down into 3 phases. Phase 1 is just helping you to determine your priorities. Phase 2 is helping you take control of your calendar. And then phase 3, if you're an entrepreneur, it is helping you come up and create a content creation roadmap. Again, I will have the link below where you can download this guide, and all you have to do is enter your name and your best email, and the workbook will be delivered straight there. Now, step number 3 is simply to comment below in the comments of this video and simply let me know, when it comes to staying organized, what do you feel like you struggle with the most? So that's all you have to do is subscribe, download my free resource, and let me know what you're struggling with. And again, I will draw a winner Sunday, April 21st, and the winner will be announced in the comments. So just make sure that you check back. So now that I've shared with you how to get entered in the giveaway, I do want to share about 5 different little tips that I want you to keep in mind as you're going through and you're watching this video, okay? So the very first point that I want to kind of share and get across to you is it's not about having the time, it's about making the time. We, again, are all super, super busy humans. We are shuffling kids here, we're shuffling people there, we have commitments here and commitments there. So when it comes to your business, you have to determine, what you're going to make a priority. And whatever you make a priority, you have to make the time to actually do the work, okay? And that's why, when it comes to me sharing what I'm going to share with you today and how I, plan out my week, I have to make the time to get certain things done in order to move my business forward. Which brings me to my second tip. If it is not scheduled, if it is not written down, chances are it is not going to get done. So just make sure that you are putting this in your calendar each and every week. Third thing that I want you to keep in mind is there is no one size fits all when it comes to time management. So what works for one person may not work for the rest. And, over the years, I have tried numerous different things to help me when it comes to time management. And so I had to kind of pick and choose and try different things to see what was going to work best for me. And so, it kind of brings me to tip number 4 is as you're kind of going through this video, and as I'm sharing exactly what I'm doing, I want you to take what you like from it and leave the rest. So if there's something that I do that maybe you don't necessarily, like, or you don't think that it's gonna, fit when it comes to your life, leave it, take bits and pieces of what you like and leave the rest. Now, the very last tip before we hop into organizing and how I plan my week, but this is probably the most important, okay? Especially if you're somebody who you've never really had a system in place, maybe you've never even used like an actual calendar and you've just been putting stuff down on sticky notes or trying to remember it, but this is very, very important and I want you to write it down. And that is to set up your environment to succeed. Now, I'll probably end up doing another video that goes a little bit more in depth on just how to create habits and things like that. But this is kind of what I mean by setting up your environment to succeed. Let's say, you are not really used to using a calendar and therefore you never get it out. You've got it shoved in a drawer. Instead, what I want you to do is I want you to, first of all, if you don't have a calendar or you don't have a planner, get one. But what I want you to do is, if you are working at your desk every single day, well, keep your planner at your desk. Or, maybe you're somebody who you like to plan at nighttime. So in order to kind of set you up to create that habit more successfully, then, keep your planner on your nightstand. So it's the last thing you see before you go to bed and it's the first thing you see in the morning. If you're somebody who maybe you take supplements, but you're not used to, taking supplements, but you want to get in the habit, well, what I would do is I would maybe, put those supplements next to your sink in the bathroom. That way, when you get up in the morning and you brush your teeth, those supplements are already going to be there. So that is one way, again, to kind of set your environment up to succeed. And now that I've kind of shared those tips, we are going to go ahead and switch directions. I'm going to do a bird's eye little overview so you can see my planner, and I'm going to share the exact system I use to set up my week for success. All right. So now we are at the portion where I'm going to show you exactly how I map out and plan my week. And so I generally do this on Sunday nights. It's just what works for me. So generally, Sunday evening when we're sitting around on the couch, maybe my little girl's watching TV or maybe she's playing, I'll just grab my planner, my supplies, and I'll just map out, get everything on my calendar. So the very first thing that I do is I just grab a piece of paper before I put generally anything in here. I'll grab a piece of paper and I'll just do a brain dump. This is just a list of everything that I need to get done for the upcoming week. And this can change from week to week depending on what my focus is, what I'm working on in my business. And so again, I just do a brain dump, and I've already done this here. Now, the second thing that I do is I will then go in, and the first thing that I'll start writing down, I'll just kind of move this aside. And then the next thing that I do is I will just go ahead and jot down like any important events, anything like whether it's a doctor's appointment or, anything that's going on, I will go ahead and jot that down. So I know for me, every day, I go ahead and put down like when I have to, get my little girl up, get her ready. So the very first thing that I do is I'll jot down like taking her to school and picking her up from school, and again, any particular appointment. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. And I will add, because I'm left-handed, generally I will turn my binder sideways whenever I'm writing. So because I'm trying to do this tutorial, I'm trying to keep it steady. So my handwriting might not be as great. So just overlook that. And I'm just going to finish this up. And then I am going to look back because I do have an appointment on the 10th. This is from 8:30 to 10:30. So I have been asked to come in and speak at Career Day at a high school, and so this is pretty much going to take up my whole morning. So I am not going to schedule, anything up until about noon here. Now, the next thing, once you have like any appointments or, doctor's appointments, if you're going to take your kids to school, pick them up, once I do all that, I jot down like the non-negotiables. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to jot down any coaching or training that I do. I've created online courses, and I have a group coaching program called the Mom's Marketing Lounge. And so with it, we do, there's trainings in there. Right now, the program is still, I'm still working on completing it. And so at this point right now, we're still doing, a couple of trainings a month. And I have, pop-up coaching sessions where I go in a couple of times a week and we're live face-to-face, on a Zoom call. And, I'm kind of coaching them. And so I'm going to go ahead and jot down, that particular schedule as well. And generally, when it comes to the training this week inside of the Mom's Marketing Lounge, I do have a guest trainer who's coming on to teach on the topic of like influence and leadership and things like that. So this week I'm not actually creating the training because I have that guest speaker, but I did go ahead and put in, when the pop-up sessions for the Mom's Marketing Lounge is and when the actual training is going to take place. And so then what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to take this list back out. Before I kind of put it up here is I'll also take this, and in the Passion Planner, you have a personal to-do list and a work to-do list. So a lot of the times I'll also kind of jot them down here. And so I'm going to go ahead and kind of do that. That when I'm going through any type of online course, like I'm staying the path, I'm not sitting here doing like, getting on every other webinar or on a bunch of different topics. Like I'm very much laser focused, and because I am putting together a brand new webinar, I am just kind of going back through one of these older courses. Like I've already been through it, but I'm just going to make a point to kind of go back through because next week I'm going to start working on those slides. So I want to kind of get a refresher, so to speak. That's why I'm kind of putting this down right here. And then I'll just kind of mark them off as I'm getting them here. All right, and so what I've done is I've just kind of taken this, I've kind of moved it over right here just to kind of see what all I have to get done. And then from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to start creating a spot for them in my calendar. And so Mondays, and here's kind of how I do this. Generally, I have a focus for the day. A focus for the day. And so this is one thing I really like about the Passion Planner is up at the very top, it's asking you like, hey, what's your focus for the day? Because what I've found is when I've really narrowed my focus and I've really honed in on trying to do like one major thing each day versus just a hodgepodge of like a ton of different stuff, I've found that I have been able to be like way more productive. And so on Monday, it's always going to be my YouTube video. This is me, putting out my weekly content to, attract my ideal customer to me. And so this is something that I do every single Monday. I upload a new video on YouTube. And so this is really the focus here. And so take for instance on Monday, which as you're watching this, it is Monday, and so you're going to kind of see how this plays out. Monday is, again, while my little girl's at school, I'll just put down, me getting ready. I give myself kind of like an hour to get ready, and then I don't really time block on Monday. I just know that while she's at school, the focus is getting this YouTube video done. And then what I did was I kind of laid out the different steps that I need to do. So I've got to record the video, I've got to edit, I've got to make sure that it's uploaded, and I also, make sure that I'm promoting it. So I'll promote it out on Facebook stories. I'll, do maybe a Facebook Live on my Facebook business page. I'll talk about it in my Facebook groups. So I'm promoting it out on social, and then I also email those on my email list. And so that is the focus. Now, if this gets done, before I have to go pick her up and I've got, a little bit of time, I may come back and, I might dive in and kind of do something else, whether it be, going through some of the personal development down here. But again, this is my main focus. And so I am just going to kind of, and right here, I don't really mark these off until it's completed. So once this is completed, I will, check it off. Once I have, created this PDF for Facebook Live, I'll kind of check it off. Now, this is another thing I'm just going to go ahead and kind of put up here, just because the deadline for this, I told them inside of the group, I had, a student asking, because I have a Facebook Live 101 little mini course that I created, and those inside of the Moms Marketing Lounge, they do get access to that, and there was a PDF that was not uploaded. I told them that it was going to be uploaded, so I am going to kind of put it down here just to know, like, hey, don't go to bed until you create this PDF. Now, this is going to be pretty quick for me to do. I would say maybe 30 minutes or less, so it's not a big deal. Generally, for me, I don't like to plan anything after my little girl gets picked up for school. It's just one of the things that I've really, tried to focus on this year while she's in school, is making sure that anything business related is done while she's at school. That way afterwards, I can spend time with her and kind of, just not be so wrapped up in, in work. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to jot this down here. Then from here, I'm just going to kind of look over, and I'm going to start kind of placing these in these different areas. So right down here, this is a lot of me sending out gifts. So inside of the Moms Marketing Lounge, I have an incentive program. And so once they're in for so long, I will send out gifts, and I also have like a member of the month where I'll send out, goodie bags and things like that. And then I also do giveaways. So I like all these right here are just me sending out stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of put this here because I've got this white space. And I'm going to give myself probably, a couple of hours, I would say about 90 minutes to make sure that that's all done. And I also color code, which you'll see how I do that here in just a minute. And then right now, the Moms Marketing Lounge is open for enrollment, which, you can check out. I'll leave the link in the description, but I will open and close the Moms Marketing Lounge. And so, another thing is on Wednesday, this is the final day during the month of April to actually get into the Moms Marketing Lounge. If, people see it after, then they have to basically just join a wait list. So I just need to make sure that I put on here, because it is Wednesday, that I need to close the Moms Marketing Lounge. And then from here, I'm just going to make sure that, I'm emailing. And I just know, since it's right here, that I'm just going to be, emailing. So I won't really, put that down. You totally can if you just want to be reminded. I just know that, cart's closing on the Moms Marketing Lounge. That's something I've got to do. So emailing daily is just something like I don't have to put down, but of course, I can if I wanted to. Now, as you can see, this is not a super busy week for me business-wise, aside from just creating my content and then also just, doing the coaching and things like that. So I don't really have a ton going on. And I did that on purpose for the sole fact that I know I'm gearing up in May to launch a brand new masterclass for social media. And so because of that, I've made sure not to add too much to my plate. And so from here, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of mark in as far as like personal development goes and when I'm going to be working on that. Okay. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in here and I am going to kind of color code my calendar. It looks kind of messy now, but you're going to see it all come together. And I actually color coded in the free resource that I said that you can download, the Work at Home Mom Survival Guide. I actually have like a little color key that you are more than welcome to use, or you can kind of come up with your own. But I have basically, 5 different colors that I use. And so I know if I am just glancing at my calendar, for the week, I kind of know like what areas and what I'm supposed to be doing based on the color that I use. So first and foremost, I'm just going to go ahead, and blue is for family. And so I automatically, when it comes to getting my little girl up and ready for school, I'll just go ahead and color code that in. And because Wednesday, I'm actually going to be, speaking at a career day at a local high school, I'm not going to be taking her to school that morning. So what I'll probably do, the night before, and I'll just kind of put this in here, not that it's going to be done at like 7:30 or 8, but I'll just have to kind of make sure to know to, pack her lunch, clothes, and then make sure that her booster seat is in my husband's vehicle. And so I kind of put that there. And then my mom picks her up on Friday, so I know that, I don't have to do this. I just kind of have a reminder in here as well. Now, yellow is for content, so I always kind of highlight that. And orange is for any to-dos, anything that I actually have to do. And so although YouTube is content, I also put it as a to-do because there's several different steps. And then I need to obviously pick her up here. So that is orange. Green, and I forgot this. So this is, I'm gonna kind of give myself 90 minutes. And then I will kind of move on from there and I will do green. Now I personally use green for any type of coaching. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and mark this off. And our pop-up sessions are an hour. And this is why I really like to time block, is so I know like where I can put things. And sometimes I really stick to it. And then sometimes like, right here, I'm sending out all gifts. That should take about 90 minutes. And then right here, if I get done early before I have to pick her up, I'll just kind of, I might go ahead and start bagging up some of these gifts to send out so it won't take me as long the next day. And so this is Yolanda, so I'm going to mark off about an hour. And that is coaching. Now, pink is personal. So, and yes, I do. So get ready. Sometimes I'll kind of give myself like a full hour. Now, if I'm just doing something like, if I don't have like a video or something to shoot, then I'm not going to, I don't allot myself like a full hour because I may not, throw on makeup every day or whatever. But I will, put this down and I'll put it in pink. Now, also when it comes to personal development, that is very much like my me time, so to speak. I absolutely love it. Now, some people, might do it in a different color, but I just personally do pink. And then I will just kind of draw a line here. And then this day, all of Friday, I am just going to be working on, going through that course, the webinars course that I went through, just kind of going through it, working through some of the sheets, making sure that, I start working on that webinar, because next week is going to be the deadline to actually get all the slides and everything created. Now on Sunday, this is something that I did not write down that I am going to go ahead and do. I just have like all kinds of like little sticker books and things. And so what I'm going to do is I am just going to kind of grab this, because I did not put it on my calendar yet. And I am just going to go ahead and put this here. It's very hard when I cannot turn this thing sideways. And then I am going to grab out another little sticker, and I am going to put it up top. And this is just my little Sunday routine that I like to do. But again, on Sundays, this is just a little list of things that I like to do on Sundays, like, make sure that, I prep and have clothes that my little girl's going to wear for the week. I make sure that she's got, lunches. So if I need to go grocery shopping, anything like that, or laundry. And then I also plan. And again, I use these little stickers. You don't have to. This is another thing of take what you like, leave what you don't. And when I get those done, I can just easily kind of check these off. Now, another thing that I really love about the Passion Planner is, especially, because one thing you might not see on here before I kind of move forward is, I have the Moms Marketing Lounge Facebook group. So I'm going in that Facebook group every day, and I'm, seeing if there's any pending posts that need to be done. I'm going into my free community on Facebook. I have a free marketing community, and so I'll go in there. I will do social media posts and things like that. So generally, I don't put those like right here. It's just things that I know I'm going to do regardless, like every single day, because it's pretty much a habit. And so I don't really put them on here. Now, I totally can if I wanted to. Now, another thing that you can do is, and I will put a link below in the description as well, but these are little printouts that the Passion Planner has that you could print out and actually, put in here. And they're little habit trackers. And so, these are just things if you just want to have on hand, and then you could check them off that you're doing them every single day. So you can do this as kind of like your little DMO, so to speak, your little daily mode of operation of things that you want to do every single day. So for me, it's kind of like broken up into, 3 different categories, and I'll kind of put this above so you can see it. But one is Beatty. That's my little girl's nickname because she's so small. But, one thing that we do every day that, I really want to become a habit is making sure that every day we're kind of doing her personal development. We're going over her words, because right now she's in kindergarten. And so in order for her to graduate, she has to know, be able to say 100 words. So we do her words, we have quality time, and gym for gymnastics. And so, part of it right now with her being in gymnastics is making sure that she's doing her cartwheels every day, just daily habits. So, I'll just kind of put that on here. Another thing is just making sure that I'm getting in enough water every day, that I'm walking, that I am journaling. So one thing that I do again, and this is one of the things that I'm giving away, is Rachel Hollis's Start Today journal. And you can do this just in a regular piece of paper, but every day it's writing down 5 things that I'm grateful for, and 10 goals that that I want to come true, and it's just writing those every single day. And so it's just a little reminder here. And then also, I could put, check social. So my group for the Moms Marketing Lounge, my free group, my Facebook business page, make sure that I'm checking YouTube to see if there's any comments that I need to reply back to, that I'm doing social media posts, checking messages, and also stories. One goal is to make sure that I want to become a habit is make sure that, on Facebook, that I've got something up in my Facebook stories every single day. And so, of course, you can see here that I don't really have it up here on my main thing. It's just things that, I'm going to be doing regardless. And so feel free, you can print these out. I just printed out, just the smallest version they had, but it's a free download on their website. Again, I'll put the link below. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set this up. And what I'm gonna do from here is, now that I kind of have this up, I'm just gonna go back and make some final touches to my week that I need to. And then in these little white spaces, again, I'll just kind of take, and if I have some white space, well, that's where, I might go in and I'll spend 30 minutes checking social media, or, that may be a time where I am doing a post, or, I'm doing something, or I might, go back and get a little bit more personal development in right here. I might go through, some of the trainings in the program that I'm going through. So you can get as detailed as you want. Totally up to you what you want to use. But again, I'm just going to go ahead and finish up my week, and then you can see the finished product. All right, so I just kind of kept this super simple, and there have been times where, if looking back, where I'll bling it out with, get some little tape right here like this, and I'll just kind of like go all the way around and just kind of make it prettier. But just wanted to kind of show you, you can get as detailed, as creative as you want to. But I just kept it kind of simple. Right over here with the habit tracker, I can still lift this up to where I can write things underneath, so it still gives me some extra space, to kind of write, but I can keep up just to make sure that I'm doing those habits. Again, I love the fact that, I can look and I can kind of say, okay, these are some things, with it, when it comes to orange, these are things that I have to get done. These are to-dos. I can look at this, and that's family time, or I've got, coaching going on, right here. And of course, inside of my groups, like I'll do coaching and things like that. But you can take this and you can find places up here. Totally up to you what you want to take from this and what you want to leave. And again, you can do the focuses up here on, every single day. You can put like what your main focus is if you want to. I would highly recommend every day having some type of focus, like what are you going to produce today? And, I realize that, you may have a full-time job. And so if you do, you just, you would just block off the time where you're at work each day. And then you would have to find whether it's getting up, a little bit earlier or staying up a little later. You're just going to have to find, just make the time to do the things that you need to do to move your business forward. All right, so there you have it. Hopefully you got some benefit from this video, and if you did, be sure to not only hit the like button, but share it out. Sharing is caring. And I know that if the majority of my students and the people who follow me are struggling with time management, chances are somebody who is too. So share it out. And if you haven't already and you want to enter that giveaway to win not only a passion planner, but also Rachel Hollis's Start Today journal, then again, just check the description for the details on exactly how to get entered. If you don't remember, everything's going to be laid out below. I'll also link to a couple of other videos I've done that I think may help you out as well, which is, one is how I use the month at a glance calendar. So feel free to check that out. Everything is below. Hope you have the most amazing week, and I'll see you back here next week for another video. Bye for now.